Sam, and I would like to welcome you to the Live Authentically show. My team and I help other people step into their authentic realities, and we do this a number of different ways. This show, our Facebook group, and my first book, Soar. I am super excited that on my show today, we have Udo Erasmus back with us today. You guys probably recognize him and remember him from a few weeks ago. We invited him back for an encore to talk about more of the nutritional piece of the work that he does. So super excited to have you back. Welcome.
Glad to be here.
Thank you. So we've got some really cool content to bring to you guys today. Udo has a book called Fats That Heal, Fats That Kill. And we're going to just go ahead and dive right in. I feel really passionate about this. I feel like on my health and wellness journey, when I started to explore more about nutrition, I was sort of a late bloomer or late to the party on this whole idea of fats. I used to avoid fats because I thought fats were bad. And so I started to learn more and more about healthy fats and unhealthy fats and really have transformed the way that I eat, and would love to turn the floor over to you to help empower people and educate people about healthy fats and how to incorporate them into their diet.
All right. So I guess when I started in 1980, I got poisoned by pesticides. And the doctors, basically, when I went to the doctor, I said, what do you have for pesticide poisoning? She said, nothing. And that was so clear. Oh my God, my health is my responsibility. And if I don't care about it, maybe nobody does. And it's like I wasn't really a junk eater that much. I was pretty simple, but it just like it really hit me how my responsibility is, how deeply it is my responsibility. And because I had background in biochemistry and genetics and biological sciences, I started looking through the journals on health and nutrition, disease and nutrition, because I thought that the idea is this: your body is made out of food, water, and air. That's it. Food, water, and air. And every creature that lives on the planet is made out of food, water, and air. Right?
Yeah.
So it's all the building blocks for building a body that works come from that. And you have in you a program, the genetic program, that once you optimize the intake of all of the essential nutrients that you can't make but have to have as building blocks, life knows what to do with those building blocks. The moment that you take responsibility for making sure optimum amounts of each and every one of these essential building blocks lands in your body, so life can do the job. So I knew that. And also the year after I got poisoned, which was in 1980, the year after, it was established that omega-3 is an essential nutrient. And essential means you can't make it, but you have to have it. So it has to come from outside.
Okay.
If you don't get enough, you can't stay healthy. And if you don't get enough long enough, you die if you're not getting enough. So this is like really important stuff. And if you're going down because you're not getting enough, but you bring enough back into the diet, then all the problems that come from not having enough are reversed because life knows what to do. So I knew the definition, found out omega-3 is too low in 99% of the population, too low for optimum health.
Okay.
Every cell needs them. And they're a nightmare to work with because of all of our nutrients, they're the most sensitive to damage by light, by oxygen, and by heat.
Okay.
It was like, oh my God, this was made for me. I mean, when I found out, I said, and I had been thinking about making oils with health in mind because I had found out that all of the problems we blame on fats and why fats have a bad reputation should actually be blamed by the damage we did to those fats by processing or food prep.
Okay.
Not on the oil itself, not the way nature makes oils. They're like normal, natural molecules that turn into all kinds of other things in the body that are important, that life knows how to work with. But when we change their chemistry and turn them into things that never existed in nature, well, then they're not going to work.
Yeah.
And we blamed what we should have blamed on the processing damage. We blamed on the fats and the oils. Oh. And I started into that at the height of the fat craziness.
Okay.
Low fat diets, no fat diets. If you go on a no fat diet, that will kill you eventually if you stay on it long enough. On a low fat diet, you will get sick and eventually your immune system will fall apart. And like Pritikin, who was one of the low fat proponents in those days, 8% of his calories came from fat. He got cancer and it killed him.
Really? Oh, wow.
And I was telling people, all the vegetarians were on low fat diets and they all had dry skin and low energy. So I walked into this big place in Vegas, at the International Conference of Vegetarians. I can't remember, that's not exactly what it was called. And I said to them, you guys are doing a good thing. Eating plants is a good idea. If they're whole foods, plant-based, that's good. But you're making one mistake. How many of you have dry skin? All the hands go up. How many are you on low-fat diets? All the hands go up. That's the mistake you're making. Your skin is dry because you don't have enough oil in your diet. Because skin gets them last and loses them first. And that's how we measure optimum. When your skin feels soft and velvety, you've got enough because they form a barrier in the skin against the loss of moisture.
Okay.
Now, not everybody followed my advice, but the ones who did said, oh my God, that's incredible. My skin is really nice and I have a ton of energy. Yeah, that's a couple of the things that oils do when you get them right. So I decided, because I was already thinking about making oils with health in mind, because I had found out when you make oils the way industry makes them, this is true for most of the oils on the shelf in the plastic bottles that are colorless, odorless, and tasteless. They've been treated with sodium hydroxide and phosphoric acid and bleaching clays, which turns them rancid, and then they're heated to frying temperature to clean them up. And about 1% of the molecules are damaged, depends on what kind of an oil it is. And if 1% of an oil is damaged, then in 1 tablespoon, you will get more than 1 million damaged molecules for every one of your body's 60 trillion cells.
Oh, wow.
So it's a huge number of damaged molecules, even though it's only 1%. It's a huge number. And you think that's not going to change how your body works when you put in more than 1 million damaged molecules that never existed in nature into every cell in your body.
Sure.
And when I found that out, it's like, oh my God, we should make oils with health in mind instead of with shelf life, like the industry was doing. And I got lit up like a firecracker. We could help almost everybody if we could bring omega-3s back and make them with health in mind. And it was the enthusiasm for having finally found a purpose that was like, yeah, this is worth doing.
Yeah.
That's what drove that project. I had no business background. I had pretty good biological science background, no business background, but we set standards and we made changes and we told people how it was going to be if they wanted to do business with us. And then we went around and told everybody, talked to everybody about oils made with health in mind. So that's kind of how that started. We started with flaxseed oil, which became the second highest selling oil in the natural foods industry, which is where we were active, in 2 years. And then I became omega-6 deficient on flax oil because it's a poorly balanced oil. It has a lot of omega-3, but it can actually make you omega-6 deficient. And then developed a blend where that can't happen because I was trying to get people healthy, and you can't get people healthy with oils that might make them sick. Right?
So how do people incorporate your oils, or how do you recommend that people incorporate your oils into their diet? I mean, do they take like straight up like a tablespoon a day? Do they use it in salad dressings?
No.
I mean, do they bake with it? How do you
Okay, so to get soft, smooth skin, it's about a tablespoon per 50 pounds of body weight per day.
Okay.
This is like major nutrients. Oils are major nutrients, like carbs and proteins. These are the three pillars of nutrition, okay? So we're talking about not supplemental oil, we're talking about food oil foundation. About a tablespoon per 50 pounds of body weight, maybe a little less in summer because you don't burn as much to create heat, maybe a little more in winter. And and you never fry it, because if you fry the oil will fry your health.
Okay.
And if you fry foods, those fried foods will fry your health. It's a good way to remember it. And if you have a frying pan in your house, and just about everybody does, go get it, turn it upside down, hit yourself on the head with it really hard, so it's associated with pain, because it will give you lots of pain if you don't stop using it, and then throw it out. So you don't fry the oils, you don't cook it in the oils.
Okay.
You add the oils when the food comes off the heat. You can put it in on hot vegetables. You can put it in like sauces.
Okay.
You just do not want to use it in the frying pan. You don't cook your foods in it. And that's actually how traditionally oils were used, like olive oil, which has a long history. Olive oil was never used for frying. It was, what they did was they cooked their vegetables in water. That's what cooking meant. Even when I was a kid, that's what cooking meant. It didn't mean using oil, it meant using water. And there's a distinction between frying uses oil and cooking uses water. But the way we use the word has changed now. Cooking in oil is like it's changed, the meaning of the word. So you cook in water, then they dump the water off, and then they would add oil for two reasons. One is to enhance flavors, because oils do that amazingly well. And the second is they improve the absorption of oil-soluble nutrients in the food.
Oh, okay.
That's how olive oil was traditionally used.
Okay.
But then the industry said, oh my God, they use water for cooking and the water comes free out of their tap. And if we could convince them to cook in oil, then we could make so much money. You can do the calculation if it's worldwide, right? And it's almost like mandatory that you have a bottle of oil in every fridge and that you fry your food in it. That would be nice if that was mandatory, because of how much money the oil industry would make. So they convinced our mothers to cook in oil because it's quicker. And women are always in a hurry because they're always taking on so much. And in those days, people just said, well, the industry would never tell us to do anything that wasn't good for us. Well, now when you say that, people laugh, because so many things have been exposed that where they lie and they cheat and they hide facts, and and when you're not looking, they throw in something and they don't tell you about it, right? That's like, we know that now, but they didn't know it then. So that's how the habit changed. And the oil industry is only 120 years old. So before that, people weren't doing that. When I was a kid, I'm going to be 80 this year. So when I was in my teens and 20s, cooking in water was still the standard. And what we would do is that, so then people say, well, how do you do your steak? Well, we used to cut it in cubes and threw it in the stew with the vegetables and the spices. And it was boiled, so the meat was boiled, not fried. Now, when you fry a steak, the meat is only boiled in the inside too, but you burn it on the outside. And the burnt on the outside is the thing that is toxic and makes you sick and increases cancer and inflammation risk.
Okay. So what are some other healthy fats, in addition to the oil, your lovely oil that you mentioned, that people should start incorporating into their grocery shopping and into their lifestyle?
Well, in terms of oils, getting them made with health in mind, obviously the source is seeds and nuts. But seeds and nuts have different kinds of oils in them. The only two that are essential is omega-3 and omega-6. Pretty much all seeds and nuts have omega-6s in them. And very few of them have omega-3s in them. There's a little bit of omega-3 in soybeans, a little bit in walnuts, a little bit in hemp seed, and a little bit in mustard seed or rapeseed or canola. seed.
Mm-hmm.
It's always better to eat the seeds than the commercial oils from them.
Mm-hmm.
Because the commercial oils are not made with health in mind, they're made with shelf life in mind. Why shelf life? Because then they could make the oil wherever you are. Where are you?
In Chicago.
So they could make the oil in Chicago and they could sell it to me in Vancouver. And they could just sell it to somebody in Johannesburg, and they could sell it to somebody in Berlin. So if you have a long shelf life on oils that by nature have a short shelf life, then you create a very, very potentially big market for the oil. But for that you got to have a shelf life, because it's got to ship and it's got to store, and and the processing that's done on oils is in order to get that shelf life.
Mm-hmm.
But you do that at the expense of health benefits.
Right.
So seeds and nuts is the place to get them. Flaxseed is the only seed that is widely available that is very high in omega-3s, but the balance is poor. Mm-hmm. Same with chia seed, very high in omega-3, but the balance is poor.
Okay.
Then there is perilla seed, which is the seed from shiso, which is a leaf that's used in sushi, the green leaf from peppermint family. That has high omega-3. And then in raspberries, in blueberries, many of the berries have quite a bit of omega-3 in them, although usually you don't chew up the seeds unless you put them in a blender. Mm-hmm. And then you don't get the oil because it stays in the seed, and the seed goes through you, and you could maybe even still plant it and it would still grow. Mm-hmm. So you have to break the seeds in order to get the oil out of those seeds.
Okay. I love that. I am hooked. I am going to incorporate this into my health and wellness regimen. So where are your products available?
You get them they're in a brown glass bottle, in a box, in the fridge, in the supplement section, in the natural food stores.
Okay.
But you can also get them off Amazon, and you can also get them off my website, depending on what you're close to and where you live and what's the best way for you to get them. But they're not hard to find.
Okay, awesome. I am so excited. I'm going to stock up on this.
Yeah.
Buy some for friends and family. I love this. So we've got a few minutes left, and I'd love to stay on the topic of healthy eating. So there's some other, I'm going to kind of just open up the floor to you. Just some other people are looking to make the shift into healthy eating. Just some that can really help them grasp onto the idea in a way that.
So the issue that is most neglected and causes the most problems is the area of fats. And literally more health problems come from damaged oils than any other part of nutrition. Okay. And more health benefits come from making an oil change that your body needs. Okay, so that's number one. Number two is digestion. Digestion is the hardest working part of your entire body. Mm-hmm. And actually having a strong digestive system is more conducive to survival and thriving than having a smart brain. In fact, there are jellyfish, that are 200 million years old, very successful, have no brain at all, but they have an amazing digestive system. So in digestion, the biggest issues for us is because we cook our food. Now, in nature, the standard is fresh, whole, raw, organic for every creature. Mm-hmm. That doesn't work if the food is contaminated, because then you have to kill the bacteria, to kill the microbes on it. Okay? Mm-hmm. So there's an issue where we have to pay attention. Yeah. But when you cook foods, you destroy the digestive enzymes that are naturally present in raw foods, and that do about 60% of the digestion for you. And when you destroy those, you more than double the load on your digestive system. Okay. And eventually that'll catch up with you. Mm-hmm. So if you eat foods cooked, you need to replace the enzymes. And you eat the food and you take the enzymes with the food. You can mix them in the food, or you can take them while you're doing the eating, because you want the enzymes mixed in the food because that's where they break the foods down and take a load off your digestive system, which then frees your immune system as well to do its other jobs. So immune system is very involved in digestion when it's not working. So that's one. Number two is probiotics. Probiotics are friendly bacteria. You have three kinds of bacteria: those that turn over dead material. So those are not supposed to take you over until your body checks out, right? And number two, they love to live inside you because it's full of food and warm there. That's a perfect place for them to live, but they would make you sick if they did. And the third is the bacteria that protect you from the other two.
Okay.
Those are called probiotics. Obviously, there's a lot of work being done with probiotics these days. They are unbelievable in how smart they are and how many health benefits they can provide. But you find them on raw foods in nature, where soils are not turned over by agriculture. And so an animal will get the probiotics on the food they eat with every mouthful. And they start in their mouth and they work their way through the entire digestive system and do good things all the way down. When you cook food, you kill those. So those two need to be replaced.
Okay.
Those two, digestive enzymes and probiotics, they do different things, but both are really important in your digestive system. Now, your digestive system is actually outside your body. So you're not absorbing the enzymes. That's not the point of it. And you're not absorbing these bacteria. You're just making sure that the place where your digestion takes place has what it needs to govern it properly. Then the third one is fiber. Fiber comes from plants. There's no fiber in animal products. So if you're having problems with bowel regularity and things like that, then eat more plants or drink more water or drink more oil, because when you get your oil layer in your skin, then you don't lose as much water through your skin, so you don't get dehydrated as easily. So those are the three. That's the digestion. And then number four, the next one down, is greens, because greens are the foundation of everything on the planet. They absorb our minerals, they make our vitamins, they make our oxygen, they moderate the climate, they hold water in the soil. I mean, plants do everything. And everything we eat and everything our body is made from is either made from plants or from animals that ate the plants. So fundamental, the foundation is a green foundation. So that would be the next one I would work. That is the next one I worked on.
I love it.
So, and this is all food-based. This is basically food-based. We're not talking about mineral vitamin supplements. That's another place to go. If you're eating white bread, then you need to replace what was taken out of the grain to make that white bread. Right? And if what you lose in the seeds and nuts when oils are made, well, there's good stuff in seeds and nuts more than just oil. So that's why the foundation is always whole food, plant-based, organic, fresh, whole, raw as much as possible.
I love it. Amen to that. Amen to that. That's I've been plant-based now for actually almost a decade, and I feel amazing. I feel like I just felt, shifts in every area of my life, just, from my skin to mental clarity to my, quality of sleep, et cetera, energy level. And it really has been life-changing. So,
Yeah, very cool. Me too. I didn't start on plants, but the older I get, the more I like them, and I eat a lot of what I eat raw. Works very well for me, but you have to get used to it, because if you're not used to it, your digestive system deteriorates. So then you have to build it back up, and that takes some time. Might take 3 months, 6 months, might even take 2 years. And you start small, and every day or every week you just like crank a little further forward
Yeah.
And, and I find it works really well for me. My digestion is good. My sleep is good. I'm almost 80. And I went for a 2-hour walk in the rocks in the mountains yesterday.
Wow.
And
Amazing.
yeah, and with my daughter and her little mutt dog,
Oh,
and it's beautiful. It's beautiful
yeah.
that and I have no aches and pains. I had arthritis when I was 38, to the beginnings of, and then I got poisoned, and then I made changes, and now I'll be 80 in May, and I have no aches and pains in any of my joints.
That's
Other
amazing.
than when I bang into something, which I still do sometimes.
We all
Right?
do.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah,
that's so amazing. I mean, you're just so vibrant and just have just this like vivaciousness about you and
yeah,
exude
yeah,
positivity, such a high energy and
yeah. But I
um
also spend time sitting still
mhm.
and feeling how good it feels to be alive.
Yeah, yeah.
Stillness practice is very good for health, and very good for reversing aging, and very
Mhm.
good for making you feel like you want to be around as long as you can.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Yeah.
amazing. Well, you're such an inspiration. I so loved the first podcast we did, and I was telling one of my friends after. They said that's what I want to be doing. I mean, I want to be 80 years old and still doing podcasts. And
So how old are you now?
how old am I now? I'm 47.
Okay, so you're never going to catch up with me. No matter how fast you go, you'll never catch up with
That's
me.
right. But
However,
yeah, it's such.
however, when your time comes to be 80, you could be very, very lively and vibrant and energized and energetic.
Yeah, that's the plan. I mean,
Yeah,
that's what that idea is what guides my choices every day. Just trying to, live a healthy lifestyle and make the right
yeah,
choices, keep my body alkaline, things like
yeah.
that.
And
I want to
and
be.
if you're enjoying your life now, there's a good chance that you'll still be enjoying your life when you're 80. The biggest thing that keeps people alive is their enjoyment.
Mhm.
I love getting up in the morning. I love that I get another day. I love that I get to take a breath. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude.
Yeah.
Right? because this is amazing that we are dust, water, air, and a little bit of solar energy all mixed together to be able to have this experience.
Yeah.
All the experiences that makes possible.
Hmm.
That's like, I don't know why we're not in awe every moment of every day. Wow, look at this.
Right. Right.
In
I know.
all this, it's like,
Right.
wow.
Right.
Right? And when people don't feel like their life is worth living, they won't look after themselves.
Right.
And if people feel like their life is not worth, like really not worth living, they actually destroy their body,
Hmm.
right?
Wow.
And then miss everything.
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
wow, why would we want to miss this?
Right. Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, like you said, it all starts with gratitude, appreciation. When we start to look at the world through those lenses, then
Yeah.
everything becomes fascinating, right? The simple
Yeah.
things in life become so fascinating. They feel like miracles rather than just mundane parts of life. So,
Exactly. It
yeah.
is. Exactly.
And speaking of gratitude, I am grateful that you were willing to come on my show a second time today to have this additional
And
time to talk about this important topic of healthy fats and oils, etc. I am super excited. I'm going to check out your product next time I'm at my favorite grocery store, my favorite health food store. And
yeah,
yeah, just make it a regular part of what I do. So I'm super
yeah.
grateful that you've been here to.
And I'm grateful for having me on.
Oh, thank you.
Website is udoschoice.com, UDOS choice.com.
Thank you. Yeah, everybody check it out. And I will as well. So thank you again for being here. And I
All
look
right.
forward to staying in touch. And thank you to all of our viewers and listeners. And everyone
All
have
right.
an amazing weekend.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye-bye.